From journalist to first lieutenant, Burton J. Smith was a true American soldier in World War II. Burton J. Smith, also known as BJ, was born on January 11, 1916. His dream job was to become a teacher. He studied at the University of Michigan and got his degree. Then he became a science teacher at a public school, and he found a new love for journalism. In 1936, BJ joined the National Amateur Press Association, also known as NAPA, and started publishing several things. Burton printed the first issue of the literary newsletter, and William Terpsted was the co-editor. Through printing the literary newsletter, BJ and William fell in love and planned to get married in May 1942. World War II lasted from 1939 to 1945, and once the war started, BJ decided to enlist into the Air Force in January 1942. That action put a hold on the wedding that was planned for the upcoming May. Burton was not called for duty until the following January of 1943. He left right away, leaving his dearest Williametta behind. As the months progressed, BJ got his silver wings. He was deported to overseas and became first lieutenant. June 1944, Burton was promoted to become first lieutenant. He was very devoted to his country and the duties that he had to do. Sadly, on September 1st, 1944, Burton died in a plane crash. He was buried in Cambridge Military Cemetery, which is located in the United Kingdom, and was awarded the Purple Heart for his efforts putting forth through the war. The letter he wrote was not a normal sheet of paper. On the top it stated "Literary Newsletter," which is what Burton and Williametta published together at home. He used that paper to write to her, signifying what brought them together. In the letter he calls Williametta dearest. He never calls her by her real name in the letter. It was dated in January, so you could say that this was one of the first letters that he has ever written to her. This letter was very short and precise and informative, yet it was 3 pages long. Burton uses ethos, pathos, and logos all throughout his letter. It is mostly driven by pathos. He shows a lot of emotion through his letter, saying how he is satisfied with the conditions that he lives in. There is also a small amount of logos when he is informing his loved one how she should not telephone him unless it is an emergency. At one part, Burton J. says, "Your man is a mighty handy specimen." You can say that Burton was bragging to his dearest of how strong he is. He's trying to show off his masculine qualities by being such a handyman. When being in the war, you have to be tough, and he is bragging to his dearest how he fits for the job. He does this another time when he is closing his letter to her. He states, "Love, your BJ, both a statement from me and an order to you." What is in parentheses comes off as a strong tone. He is ordering her to love him. It seems to be demanding to his dearest, and can come off as a demand like a duty in the war. All his letters were written to his dearest, showing about how much he cares for her. Burton J. Smith lived in a very exciting life. Sadly, it was put to an end, but he was a true American role model. Throughout his letter, you can step into his shoes and imagine what he was living throughout the war.